What's going on, everybody? Dan the Ultra Dad here. Hope you're doing well. Hope your training is going well. Today we're going to do a quick update from the Mohican 100, let you know how it went. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm actually here for a lacrosse practice with my son and to have an awesome running path around the fields. So that's what I'm doing here in Mason, Ohio. Just wanted to give you a quick update. Take my glasses off. We'll make this more personal. How about that? I hope my glasses are on somewhat straight. Anyway, so let's talk Mohican 100. If you follow me on Strava, you know the bottom line summary is I was not able to finish the race. Unfortunately, I DNF'd, which, you know, I really hate. I always hate a DNF, but these things happen and, you know, we kind of have to bounce back. But I still love running and it's going to be fine. But I thought tonight I might give you a little bit of a storyline as far as how it went and just some basics. I'll definitely put out a video in about a week. Hopefully sooner, that kind of walks you through what happened at this year's Mohican 100. All right, guys, so let's talk about the race. Man, what an awesome race it was. This was this past weekend. The Mohican 100 is a Western States qualifier. It's so, you know, it's one of the best 100-mile races in the United States. So just off the top, it was an absolute pleasure to run that race for the third time. Very, very excited to do it. And man, I had such high hopes going into the race. I thought that I would definitely get a finish. The only question was how fast I would be. My training had been, you know, kind of lackluster, to be honest. But I learned a huge lesson, and that is there's absolutely no substitute for solid training, even if you've run the race before, when it comes to 100-mile ultra marathons. So the day of the race was just amazing. The weather was fabulous, just absolutely perfect for running an ultra marathon. To start the race, the temps were actually in the low 50s, so no excuses whatsoever from a weather standpoint. Totally, you know, I think it was clear, no clouds in the sky, just sunny and beautiful. It felt like a fall day, honestly. It was just that perfect. You know, it felt like kind of a crisp October morning, just perfect. Of course, we're in June. Normally, the Mohican 100 is very humid, very hot, because it is in the beginning of June. But this year was definitely an exception to that rule. It was absolutely perfect. So no excuses from a weather standpoint. In the beginning of the race went really well. You know, honestly, the pacing was perfect. I feel like there were four of us who ran the race together. Well, five of us, generally speaking. Ryan from I Run on Beer, that's his YouTube channel, go check it out, awesome channel. His friend Todd. Then we also had Tim, a loyal viewer and friend of ours, of our channels, and then of course myself and my brother Will. And man, everything was perfect. So we went out, you know, I think whereas last year, the year I finished the race, one of the years, but went out a lot faster. We went out and did like a 5.5 hour first loop. Each loop is a marathon distance. Very fast last year. This year we all decided to dial it back a little bit, hopefully preserving some energy, giving us the ability to last longer, and we were hoping so all of us could finish. And so we did about a 7-hour first loop, so perfect pacing. And honestly, after the first loop I felt great. I feel like that was the perfect pace to be going. So no excuses from a pacing standpoint either. So first loop, great pacing. Second loop, honestly, really good pacing there too. I think where I really started to go wrong with the race was on the second loop. My pace was going down, was slowing down a little bit. Instead of just easing back in, I decided to suddenly start running faster. And I started running up hills. Not a good idea, not in a 100-mile race. And what ended up happening, I think, was I started to get overheated and overexert myself a little bit. you know, I wasn't even going that fast. I was only going at like 11-minute miles. But considering I'd been going averaging about 15 to 16-minute miles up to that point, 11-minute miles was actually going pretty fast. So that was probably my first mistake during this race. So then I think that my second big mistake was when I increased my pace suddenly like that, I neglected to add calories into the formula. So, you know, if you're gonna increase your pace suddenly and you're going to push it, you probably need to add some extra calories because you're gonna be burning those calories faster. And that is definitely something I did not do. As I increased the pace, as I increased the intensity of the run, my stomach started to sour on me, started to turn on me. And part of that was because I wasn't adding calories. And of course I was overexerting myself to begin with. So that, in combination with the fact that I increased the pace, turned out to be a bad combination for me. If you follow me on Strava, you see that after the second loop was over, I was done with the race at about mile 54. So mile 54 is, you know, it's nothing to be ashamed of. I feel like that I still went pretty far, but I finished 100-mile races before. I finished this race before twice. And to quit halfway through was very disappointing to me. And you know, we'll talk more about exactly how the quitting happened and exactly how I went downhill, and kind of the mental side of that maybe in another video. But needless to say, after the second loop was over, I was able to get back out on the trail, but it took a lot just to get me out. And then once I was out, I realized that I really wasn't feeling good at all. I don't remember for sure, but in my pre-race video, I believe I mentioned that I wanted to avoid nausea. In fact, I know I did, because I knew that nausea for me, or nausea, is definitely my Achilles heel with these races. I hate when I get sick to my stomach. And unfortunately with 100-mile ultra marathons, sometimes that happens, especially when you overexert yourself. You know, I'm really lucky that it wasn't any hotter, because I probably, well, I don't know. If it was hotter, I may not have overexerted myself as quickly. The weather was just so perfect that it felt like, you know, it felt so dry and so cool. It felt like I could run faster than I should have. And so that's what happened. I did. I got sick to my stomach and I just couldn't push past it. I just went through a very difficult low patch. And, you know, I'll get through it. You know, we'll talk about it later at another time, but suffice it to say, I quit. I DNF'd at mile 54. So, you know, I'm very excited. I have a lot to look forward to. I still love the sport, but we're gonna have to figure this out. So, all right, so I'm back in my car just for a last couple comments. That's kind of how my Mohican 100 went. But, you know, overall, I still had just an absolutely fabulous, fantastic experience. Had so much fun hanging out with Ryan, Todd, Tim, my brother, and all of you out there who stopped to say hi. Thank you so much for doing that. Sorry I couldn't finish the race, but I'm looking forward to being able to do it in the future. I'm definitely going back to the Mohican 100 at some point. Not sure if it'll be next year or not. But we'll see. It's just such an awesome race that's pretty close to where I live. So we got a lot in store. There's going to be a few changes to my schedule, and I'll update you with those as I progress with my videos. You'll find out for sure, and I'll let you know kind of the plan. But it is still going to be an awesome plan. I cannot wait for the rest of the summer and for this fall. So it is just going to be so much fun, and I hope that you stay along for the ride. If you've watched this video to its fullest extent, thank you so much. You must truly be a fan of my YouTube channel, and that's awesome. So subscribe if you get a chance. Definitely hit that like button. It helps this video. And I'll bring you more updates. I'll let you know more detail about how the race went. Maybe even do a live stream about it with perhaps one or two of the people that raced with me. And it's just going to be a great time. So anyway, had a great time. Thanks again for watching. And for now, we'll catch you in the next one.